And welcome back. We're talking to Dr. Harriet Hamilton, who's a Tennessee State University Associate Professor, but also the author of a beautiful book called Daddy's Scrapbook, Harriet Kimbro of the Negro Baseball League, A Daughter's Perspective. You see the copy of the book there. And it all came about because her mom gave her a mission, gave her her dad's scrapbook, which was 60-some years old at that point, wasn't it? With all of the things that he had collected throughout the years, and you turned it into this beautiful memoir about your father's life, about the Negro Baseball League, and all the accomplishments that not only he made, but other baseball players made as well. Before we took a break, you were kind of sharing with us, you know, what it took to pull all of that together, and also some things that have happened since then, like the Tennessee Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame. When you look back at your dad's career and you say, and of course he's no longer with us and your mom's not with us, but what would they say? Would your mom, first of all, say, you did what I told you to do, you did what you were supposed to do with your dad's memories, and then what would your dad say about all the recognition that he's receiving?
Well, now we're talking about two different people. Two different people.
Two different personalities, I'm sure.
My mom would be ecstatic. She would have 20 books and she would be sending it to everybody she knows, and just reading it over and over again. She was always excited about things, excited about anything that her children did. She was just that supportive, loving, caring. And my dad, on the other hand, would have just looked at the book. He would read it, because he was a good reader. He loved to read.
He had a library full of books, didn't he?
Yes, and loved to read all the time. He would look through the book, and then he would say, isn't that something? And that would be it.
Wow.
Nothing else would be said. He was just that was his personality. So my mom would be all over the place.
Yes.
And my dad would just nod his head.
Just take it.
And say, okay, that's pretty good.
And even the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame accolade, with that sort of, at least, do you think, get a bigger smile on his face?
Oh yes, he would have been tickled. I would have been the spokesperson anyway, because he wouldn't have gotten up to speak, because that was a sore thumb with him, in terms of, he just had it in his head that he only had a 6th grade education. But my father was the smartest man I ever knew. He was just so smart.
Well, when you think about it, he ran 2 businesses, 2 successful businesses, right? And then did all of these other great things before those businesses came about.
Yes. So he would just have taken it in stride. He would have I would have gotten a smile out of him.
Okay.
But I don't think he would have been excitable. My mom would have been all over the place, just, you know, and dressed up and just telling people and that sort of thing.
When you think back on those times, especially when you were a young girl and you didn't realize, Dad, like you said, Dad was your dad, and he was the greatest man ever, but you didn't realize that other people knew of his greatness beyond what happened in the household.
No.
What role do you think she played there, or did she? Did she just sort of take it and let him just didn't worry that he didn't tell you all or share those things with you, or how do you think she felt about him kind of keeping a little bit of a secret from you all as children?
I think, well, she was always supportive of anything.
Gotcha.
So he was really, you know, consumed with his businesses, making a living, raising his family.
Important things in life.
And the past is the past. My father was just that way. The past was the past, and that's it. Let's keep it moving. Just keep it moving. So that's where I get this saying, and some students will say, oh, she says that in class. Just keep it moving, keep it moving. So she was supportive of him. She really didn't talk about it either. You know, because he didn't talk about it. If he'd have talked about it, she would have talked about it. Yeah, but he didn't talk about it, so she just kind of left it at that.
Well, something that people may not know about you, Dr. Hamilton, is you kind of had some athletic accolades on your own. So you have a history of being an athlete in your own right. Talk a little bit about some of your accomplishments through the years.
Well, first of all, I wasn't the athlete. I was just an athlete. I was the smart athlete.
Okay.
My brother and my sister, they got that athletic ability, especially my sister Maria. She was just awesome growing up. She played tennis, volleyball, and played at Father Ryan, and was really good. And they went to the state in both sports. My brother played baseball, and he played on Glen Cliff's championship team, and he played on Fisk University's baseball championship team, and was invited to try out for the Cincinnati Reds. So
wow,
those two got all of the athletic ability, but thank God I got the brains. And I'm so,
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Yes.
But I was not the athlete. I just played, and I was on Fisk University's first women's basketball team, and didn't have a very good experience. And that was the cause of me going into coaching. Title IX, I was in the middle of Title IX, and I thought if I ever got the chance to coach, I was going to be a different coach.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was going to be, a good coach. And so I was into that, won championships at Fisk University, brought them their first women's basketball championship. Went to Bethune-Cookman, brought them their first women's basketball championship. And just got into, in volleyball, Fisk University, first volleyball championship. So I was just very pleased. Well, I was consumed with having a good women's program, because, during that time, they just had the women and go play, and,
Yes.
so that we can be in compliance with Title IX, and that people didn't put money into the women's program. So that was my battle.
Right.
And I fought that battle for a long time. And because of that, I got into, I had the chance to get into athletic administration, so I became the first female athletic director, African-American athletic director in the country, from NCAA Division III school at Fisk University. And so from there, I was chosen to serve on the ABA USA Women's Basketball Olympic Committee, which we chose the 1984 Women's Basketball gold medal team, and on and on and on and on. It's just
Right.
being at the right place at the right time.
But also it may be a little bit of your dad. You talked about his records, right?
Yes.
Maybe in some way his athletic ability and the phenomenal way in which he played has kind of leaked into all of you all as,
Oh, for
as his
sure.
children.
Oh, definitely.
And you all have your own records, maybe
Yes.
different records, but your own
Yes.
records and stuff.
Oh yes, we were pushed from the very beginning to be educated. Even though he went to the 6th grade and was not allowed to go to the 7th grade, that broke his heart.
Yeah.
Because he always wanted to be educated. And so we were pushed. There was no doubt in our family that everybody was going to college. Everybody was going to college, and you were going to achieve. And our dad gave us discipline, very strong discipline. We were not allowed to bring C's and D's in the house. We were not allowed. And when I say we were not allowed,
Yeah.
we were not
Yeah.
allowed.
You didn't do it.
We didn't do it. We just didn't do it. So we all, went to college. I went to Fisk University. My brother went to Fisk University. My sister went to Florida A&M University. And I have an older brother, stepbrother, Larry. He graduated from Tennessee State University.
Fantastic.
So, and I'm the only one that pursued the doctorate. I think because I was the first child of that his second family, I was just driven, and he drove things into my head. You will need to do this because you don't want to do this, and you need to do this because you. So I was a driven person, and I finally recognized that when I was in grad school at Temple University, and I thought, you know what, I just can't quit.
Because Daddy wouldn't let you.
He wouldn't let me, and it's all
And it was
up here.
already in you.
Yeah, it was.
That's
And I
right.
thought, I quit like I don't know how many times for my doctorate. I thought, I quit. I'm not doing this. This is too hard. And every time I said, okay, let's start back. Okay, now we're going to do this, and I just could not
Made
quit.
it.
I could
Right.
not quit. So I guess
Perfect.
that kind of spilled over into other things that we were doing, whether we were coaching, whether we were teaching, whatever we were doing. That drive, and I still have it. It's slowed down a little bit now.
But you still have it. Well,
I
it's a
still
beautiful
have it.
story all the way around. Where can people get Daddy's scrapbook?
It is on www.amazon.com. They can order it
From Amazon.
Amazon.com.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
thank you so much for sharing your dad's story.
Thank
you
you.
so much for sharing your family's story, and
Thank
of course
you.
for sharing your own personal story. Be on the lookout. We'll have some information on our website as well about Daddy's Scrapbook by Dr. Harriet Hamilton. Thank you for being with us, and
Thank
we
you.
thank you for joining us as well. We'll see you again next time.
Thank you.